Well, I think we've learned he's got a great personality that fits well into the team. He's already more than accepted and very well liked. He's got a good sense of humor. Um, and I think he's used the time well, and we have also used the time well to integrate him into Los Angeles and LAFC without the complications of training and playing. Um, but you can also see he's very eager to be back on the field to do what he is here to do what we all love. So, but he obviously needs some fitness as well. So um, he's back training regularly and he's ready to play. But it'll be a while before we see the best David Martinez.
From a maturity standpoint, just a kid, 18, right? Literally just turned 18 when he arrived here. How would you? Does he come across like a kid to you, or is he more mature than that? How would you say?
Well, actually, all of my players are kids in some way,
Right.
as is the coaching staff, and I think it's a great thing. I think it's something we should all do more of. But no, I think he is mature. I think there's a difference between players on the field and off the field, and so I think off the field, yeah, for sure, he's 18, but on the field he plays a little older, and he's a smart player, and has solutions, which we're looking forward to seeing again.
I know you've answered a lot of questions about Kai tomorrow because the last couple of weeks. So what has he brought, somebody with his experience and his background, what has he kind of brought to you guys?
Well, experience, background, great locker room guy. He brings us another threat in the box, which we didn't have prior to Kai. We haven't had that for a long time. So, but I think on top of that, Kai came for the right reasons. He came to win something. And you have somebody in the locker room who does everything in his power, whether he's starting or not starting, or just in training, to make this organization better. And I think that coming from someone who is the second best goal scorer in the MLS history is pretty incredible to have. And so he's been really important for our camaraderie and on-field performances this year. So we couldn't be happier with Kai.
You kind of talk about everybody kind of being a kid. Where does he kind of fit into that? Like,
he's
like a dad type
he's
of
a big
figure?
one. He's a big kid. But yes, Kai is a very, very pleasant human being, a very kind human being, and always helping a lending hand to younger players, trying to explain things, but has a good sense of humor as well, and from what I can tell, sees the glass half full too. So he fits in here nicely.
Kai's a local guy, similar to Aaron Long last year, coming later in his career to join this club. What do you think it means for the community to have these guys that grew up here come back?
I think it's very important. I can tell you if San Diego FC was around when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't have landed in Germany or ended up in Germany. I would have wanted to play for my club that I grew up watching. And so I think it's incredibly important. And you have academy players like Eric Dueñas or Nathan Ordaz, who are real Angelinos. And I think it's very important, and that's why I think clubs get started, is to see that progression and to connect with the community. And from what I know, LAFC's foundation and the club itself and our players and coaches as well, led by John, we do an incredible job of making sure the community is spoken to and taken care of. And they give it back to us tenfold on game day. And so I'm looking forward to that Saturday as well.
Are you San Diego FC paying attention to what they're doing, but not just that it's your hometown, you get to visit it next year, but it's a natural rival, kind of extends this corridor in Southern California. For whatever the positives that another club in this area brings, and also being your hometown.
Yeah, I think I see it that way. The more positivity we can get in our league, and in Southern California, the better. So short road trips is always good in our league.
Is that
So,
right?
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm not in charge of financials or transportation, so
Just for the
please ask somebody else.
Would you prefer bus or train?
Train.
It's a nice
It's a
train.
beautiful train ride. Yeah, it's a lot.
Let's do it. Let's lock it in.
They bus, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Does that mean we have to?
I was just more wondering. I didn't
I
know.
want to be at the airport waiting for that one to get up.
Well, with the Las Vegas lights, we took the bus.
Just with the Denny and Maddie, certainly we've seen it all season, but in that game last week, it seemed like they were connected. Are we seeing more of that, where they are helping lift each other and statistically, and just the way they play?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not. Those two are connected because they're both good players, and they play in a system where our attackers get a lot of looks at goal and a lot of opportunities to score goals. Um, whether it's a connection between those two or it's because they're both playing for LAFC and they understand our model very well and were scouted specifically for that, I'm not sure. But they talk to each other. That's a good sign. I think they are friends off the field, so that's always a good sign. But right now, I think our entire offensive game, and that starts with obviously our goalkeeper who begins our build-up play, is clicking. And those are the two profiting at the moment, and Kai as well. And Nathan contributed, Thomas Angel contributed to the last game. That's what we want to see.
For Tommy and Nate assisted him on that, to see those guys have come through LAFC 2 and now getting that. And obviously, I know you guys gave them a lot of positive reinforcement, but to see them take those lessons to where they're contributing, what does that mean for you and them?
Yeah, coaches in the academy and the second team and the first team coaches can prepare players for those moments, but to take that last step, no coach can help you with that. That's up to the players, and it's great to see Tommy step up, Nathan, Eric Duenas has had some good games for us this year. It's great to see younger players want that next step and to solidify themselves as part of this roster and maybe even more.
Thoughts on the matchup? What are you thinking in terms of this opponent? You guys have been on fire. You're clicking, like you said. What do they bring to you that you have to concern yourselves with?
Yeah, it's a difficult team to beat, and they're playing very well of late as well. Quite disciplined. It's a very compact team, vertical team. They look for depth right away. Are very consequent in their offensive marking, meaning they are aggressive and committed, which makes it difficult to expose them in any sort of transition moment. Deadly on set pieces, have a very direct, goal-oriented way about themselves now with Chris, and he's done a great job. It's easy to see from watching a little video. It's a well-coached team, a disciplined team. They have found a way to be successful, and they are sticking to it. We believe, that we can have a chance to win this game for sure. And every system has its vulnerabilities, like ours does. It's just a matter of how well we can implement ours on them Saturday. But it's going to be a competitive and close game.
Can you charter a train?
Yeah, we do in Germany. We used to.
So just the team would be on there?
So yeah, the team has one cart, and you're just kind of by yourselves, which is nice.
That thing breaks down every now and then. So coming back from doing the Dodgers, I think we got stuck for like 8 hours.
Oh, really?
Fortunately, the guy sitting next to me was really smart. Like he immediately gets up and runs to like the snack corner or whatever. Bought every bottle of wine.
Did he upcharge everybody else though after?
Oh no, he was like a little this dude had money, man. He was like a lawyer. He just started passing it out.
Sorry, Steve has a tight timeline. We just have one more question on Zoom.
It's good to have Dylan.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Yes, I can hear you.
This is Charles from Osaka. I do love the train talk, but I'm writing a piece about Denis Bouanga. I know you talked about him a lot, but I'm looking at the specific angle of what it's like for defenders, especially right backs, who have to go up against him 1v1 very often. And you may have talked about this before, but as a right back yourself, I'm wondering if you've had to go against a player of that caliber, how you compare him, what defenders can do maybe to deal with that threat.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a different perspective. Is always important to see. Yes, I've had some moments against some decent wingers in Germany. Bayern Munich was always difficult to play at that moment. At the time, it was Louis van Gaal's Bayern Munich who spread the field out, put the wingers wide. Those wingers were Arjen Robben and Ribéry. And I had Ribéry running at me for 90-plus minutes, a lot. And you can't shut players like that down. And it's not just the individual. It's also the players behind him putting him in good positions to expose outside backs or to isolate center backs with those wingers. And we try to do the same to get Denis and Kike and Matti and all of our players in good positions to make defenders look bad, to isolate them. And it's literally impossible to shut somebody down every single time. we're hoping for that one moment they do have success. And so from the outside back perspective, I think you have to understand that you're not going to be successful all the time, but how can you minimize the chance or the size of the chance or the quality of the chance by understanding details of the players, left-footed, right-footed, what's more common for them, when do they go left, when do they go right. So there's a lot of video work that I think maybe isn't being done about individual qualities of players and how to shut them down. And we have seen teams double up Denny, which should open up other players, but that has been successful in the past. So sometimes it's not just a one-man job or one-person job; it's multiple. But I think there are solutions out there, certainly for outside backs. But thinking back to my playing days, playing it by numbers and understanding the strengths of the player and forcing them to their weaker side if they have one, to minimize the chance of them scoring.